Hey everybody, it's Dr. Gray. I wanted to go through your first exam. I like to go question by question and just kind of tell you the correct answers so that you have that as a reference point. So your first question is from this exam was from the list below, select all of the steps that were discussed in class as being part of the overall drug development process. This question's worth 4 points. There are a total of 5 things that you needed to select. There was the discovery and development, preclinical research, the clinical development, FDA review, and then post-market monitoring. Those were the 5 steps that are involved in the drug development process. The other ones, naming, packaging, and marketing. I think that the best of those is probably marketing, and people probably selected that one. But that is not a part of the actual like scientific component of it. All these other steps are like scientific components of this process. The next question was, which of the following is not a way that researchers can confirm they have the right target? And the options were genetic irradiation, genetic manipulation, antibodies, and chemical genomics. The correct answer, the way that is not used to confirm that you're working with the right target, is genetic irradiation. Now, genetic manipulation by knocking out or removing the function of a gene or protein is a part of confirming that you have the right product. Okay, next. In a molecule of CH4, what is the hybridization of carbon? Now, if you remember hybridization, that was all about taking orbitals of different types and combining them to make one thing. And I gave you a little bit of a suggestion. A way to think about it was to count up the things that that central atom was bound to. Now, in this case, carbon is bound to 4 separate things. They are all hydrogens. But the way that we count this up is we say S, P, P, P. That's our 4 things. So this is sp3 hybridized. Question number 4. Which element is most electronegative? And that's just kind of just remember, fluorine is the most electronegative. Question number 5. Which of the following elements is not one of the 10 important elements for biochemists? Now, the 10 important elements, you had carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, sulfur, then you had your halogens, and those are fluorine, chlorine, and bromine. So this includes carbon and oxygen. And we know that those are going to be pretty important because we talk about those a lot in organic chemistry. The correct answer, so the element that is not important to biochemists, is rubidium, Rb. Now, after that, we've got question number 6. What is the hybridization of the molecule SF6? Okay, so this is kind of the same thing. S, P, 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 D, D. So we've got 6 things. So it's sp3d2 is the correct answer. Our next question, number 7, the molecule shown below is named using which stem? Okay, so for this, we have to figure out how many carbons there are. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 carbons, in which case we are talking about pentane, or the stem would be P-E-N-T, pent. Now, question number 8. The molecule shown below is a great example of which of the following? An alkane, an alcohol, an alkene, or an alkyne. Okay, an alkane is nothing but carbon-carbon single bonds. An alcohol has 1 oxygen, 1 OH. An alkene has at least 1 double bond, and an alkyne has at least 1 triple bond. We can see here there is a carbon-carbon double bond. So this is an example of an alkene. Next up, question number 9. The molecule shown below would best be described as an isomer, but which isomer? Now there's 2 major types of isomers. There's a cis isomer and a trans isomer. Now, this particular isomer, what we're looking for is we're looking for where are our groups. I'm going to grab my annotate, and I'm talking about this group and this group compared to our double bond. Now, these two, the CH3CH2 and CH3, are on opposite sides of that double bond. One is on this side and the other is on this side. So if we look at that as our kind of equator, well, this, since they're on opposite sides, this is known as the trans isomer. So our correct answer is the trans isomer. That's question number 9. Now, number 10. According to Lipinski's rule of 5, which the molecular mass of a drug should be. None of these answers are correct. Okay, we haven't looked at any yet, but let's go ahead and look at them. No more than 500 Daltons, at least 500 Daltons, over 500 Daltons, and no more than 5 Daltons. Okay, so a Dalton is 1 gram per mole, or 1 gram per mole. And so the correct answer here is no more than 500 Daltons. It can be up to that, but not exceeding that. Now, question number 11. According to Lipinski's rule of 5, a molecule should have no more than 5 hydrogen bond donors, hydrogen bond acceptors, or hydrogens. Okay, so the answer of none of these are correct is off the table. Now, Lipinski's rule of 5 does ask about hydrogen bond donors and acceptors. And a molecule should have no more than 5 hydrogen bond donors. It can have a maximum of 10 hydrogen bond acceptors, but it's 5 donors. Okay, the molecule shown below is best known as, we've got a couple of options. We've got A, 1,1-chloromethane, B, methane, C, a third option is none of these answers are correct. And then a fourth option, dichloromethane. The correct answer here is dichloromethane. Now, an attractive alternative option might be that 1,1-chloromethane, but we don't need that 1,1 because both chlorines are on the single carbon. So we just say dichloromethane. Next up is question number 13. This is where we get into functional groups. Select all of the reactants needed to form an amide. We need an amine carboxylic acid. We don't need any water. We don't need fluorine. And we don't need any other reactants that are not listed. Question number 14. Which class of molecules is known for making fruity odors? So we smell like banana or something like that. An artificial banana odor is an ester. Question number 15. The molecule shown below is best described as a carboxylic acid, an aldehyde, a ketone, or an alcohol. Okay, so these are all pretty attractive answers. That OH might make you think, it's an alcohol. The carbonyl carbon right here might make you think, well, it is an aldehyde or a ketone. But whenever we think about an aldehyde or a ketone, you need to have something other than OH next to that. It's only a carboxylic acid that gives you that OH next to it. Question number 16. How many atoms are needed for an epoxide ring? An epoxide has an oxygen and then 2 carbons. So the correct answer to this is 3. You need 3 atoms for an epoxide ring. Number 17. The molecule shown below is best known as benzene, cyclobenzene, phenol, octanol, or cyclohexene. Okay, we've got a double bond there, and it's a ring. Okay, how many atoms are in a ring? 1, 2, I'm starting at the 12 o'clock position. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 6 atoms. There's 1 double bond, so we've got to have E and E, and it's ring. It's a cyclic molecule. So let's go with cyclo. And cyclohexene is our correct and our best answer for that. Some of y'all might have been distracted and thought about, ooh, it's benzene. Well, benzene has multiple double bonds. It is a ring. It's a six-membered ring, but it has more than one double bond. Question number 18. The molecule shown below is best known as, well, 5-bromohexane, 1-bromopropane, 2-bromohexane. Okay, so these are all really attractive answer options. What we need to do is we need to count up the number of carbons. So here's a point 1. Here's another point 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, hex. Okay, now we've got a bromine there. Okay, 5-bromohexane, 1-bromopropane, and 2-bromohexane. Well, all of those have the bromine included. So the question really boils down to, what's the length of our carbon chain? Hex. So that 1-bromopropane, that's out of the question. Let's remove that. So now we're down to 5-bromohexane or 2-bromohexane. What we want to do is make sure that the bromine has the lowest possible number. And so what's a lower number, 5 or 2? 2. 2-bromohexane is our correct answer. All right. Now in the picture shown on question number 19, 2 alcohols are hydrogen bonding. Which is the hydrogen bond acceptor? So the acceptor of the hydrogen bond is the atom that is not hydrogen. So we've got both are acting as acceptors. Both are acting as donors. Butanol, methanol, the answer is not present, or propanol. Okay, so what we've got here on the right-hand side is a single carbon and then an OH. That's methanol. On the left-hand side, we have 1, 2, 3 carbons and an OH. That's propanol. Okay, so methanol is the molecule that's acting as the acceptor because of the fact that it does not have that hydrogen. Instead, it's the oxygen that is accepting that hydrogen bond. Question number 20. How many carbonyl carbons does the molecule shown below have? Now, a carbonyl carbon is a carbon with a double bond and an oxygen. Here we have, well, we've got double bonds, but is there an oxygen there? There isn't. So there are actually 0 carbonyl carbons in this molecule. There's double bound carbons, but there are no carbonyl carbons. What is the molecular formula of an alkane? So an alkane, you have C and then a subscript of N, and then H with 2 times that same subscript N plus 2. So the correct answer is this right here. Now CnH2n would be the formula for a alkene, because that would be your alkene. Question number 22. When looking at alkanes, as the number of carbons increases, what else increases? Okay, so alkanes, that's nothing but carbon-carbon bonds. It can't be the number of double bonds. What about number of chlorines? This didn't mention anything about chlorines. Boiling point, however, as the number of carbons increases, the boiling point of our substance increases. Question number 23. Question number 23 reads, what is the charge of an electron? So this is going back to our subatomic particles. Protons are positive, neutrons are neutral, and electrons are -1. Number 24. A molecule that is asymmetrical, so something that is not symmetrical, will be polar. Because, well, it doesn't have symmetry. It's kind of like a battle of tug of war where one is winning. Okay, question number 25. What is the mass of an electron? The mass of an electron is effectively 0. Okay, so that wraps up basically a run through of this exam. You'll see the correct answers also. You can, here's this video that you can review, but also you'll be able to see them on, in just a moment, you'll get access to the corrected answers and the correct answers and compare them to your responses. If you want to meet and discuss any of this, just let me know, and I'd be glad to meet and discuss any of it and help you out with this. This is going to be very important that you kind of get all these things straightened out and understand them, because of the fact that your next exam will have questions asking about these things. So look at those examples that we looked at, like the stems and the functional groups. Make sure that you know how to answer those, and you can address those for your next exam. Okay, everyone, I hope this was helpful, and I hope you have a good one.